Hi, my name's Helen and this is my channel, Helen Mary Jo. If you're new here, then welcome. If you're returning, thank you. And if you're a Hellsbell, hello. So today, shall I do a weather forecast? Well, it's not a forecast, it's more of a weather observation really. And today I woke up to blue skies. That lasted about 2 hours. Then there was thunder and lightning. Now you can see it's sunny because I've actually got the front door open because Rob's outside doing some work in the garden and Dolly likes to be kind of where the action is. So she's actually lying in the sun on the front drive at the moment. And there is a massive black cloud up there, which is heading this way. So it really is, there's an old adage, I don't know if it's everywhere, but certainly in the UK, and that is, if you don't like the weather, wait a minute. And that's really what we're getting at the moment. So I know, I mean, honestly, if you live in the UK, in the south of the UK, you're probably thinking, Helen, well, the weather when you see this won't be the weather that I'm talking about today. But anyway, it's not cold really, although I have got this, do you remember this? I got this at 2 at Sainsbury's. And it's a nice cotton jumper and it's kind of just right for this weather really. So but it's not cold. So what am I doing today? Oh, 2 things. Well, two things. I'm doing a little haul and it's a couple of bits from Marks and Spencer and then a few bits from Next, still in the clearance I'm afraid, but as I said before, with the time of year that we're going away, and there are huge bargains still to be had in the clearance on Next, and I will link everything that I possibly can on there. But I have to say, I went onto the Marks and Spencer webpage to see, you know, Mark's videos are always popular and I love Marks and Spencer's. I mean, I know I do have a whinge about them sometimes, but I love Rob and I have a whinge about him too. So it's what I found surprising is because I always go to New In because obviously I have looked at a lot of what they've got in the store and online over and over looking at different things. You know, I spent a lot of time doing that. So I clicked on New In, as in new arrivals, and nearly everything that I liked the look of was sold out. Now I don't know if they're just making less of things, because obviously I think every business is having quite a hard time with stock control and everything else. And maybe they are just making a fewer number of items. But as a consumer, it's very frustrating when it's new in and you can't get it. So I think actually I've only got 2 things to show you and then a few bits from Next clearance. And then the second half of the video, I'm doing some cooking, just really cooking our dinner for later, which is a Thai chicken curry. So if you're interested in that, stay tuned. Do you know what I thought I would mention? Is my skin. I've got no skin makeup on at all apart from some blusher. I've got blusher, some eye makeup and a little bit of lippy. But my skin is in such good condition at the moment. And I looked in the mirror and I thought, well, I don't really think. I mean, obviously I've got a few age spots and things. They don't really bother me, to be honest. But I just thought, I don't know, some days you just don't feel like putting makeup on, do you? And today was one of those days. So I think my skin is in good condition. I'm not being boastful at all. I mean, a lot of it's luck, genetics, I know all of that. But I do think, and this isn't an ad because I've kind of finished my sponsorship with Matica, but I do think it's making a difference to my skin. Happy days. So that's that. What else did I want to mention? Anything? Oh yeah, as usual, thanks for all the comments on the last couple of videos. I do appreciate it, as you know. And I do appreciate it when people subscribe. I know it shouldn't bother me, but people unsubscribe and I kind of, it goes click, click down. I don't watch it like all the time or anything, but on each video, when I look at the analytics, it tells me what happened with subscriptions or unsubscriptions. And it's only natural, I suppose, isn't it, to think, oh, I wonder what people didn't like. But, you know, I don't dwell on that, obviously, or I'd drive myself crackers. So today I will crack on with this. As I say, I've only got a couple of bits from Marks and Spencer, and I'm going there tomorrow. So I actually wanted to do these so I can take them back if they're no good. And one of the items was is a luxury item. And when I got it out of the packaging, it was so creased up. In fact, it's still quite creased up, but because it's a jacket, I was nervous to kind of press it or steam it or anything, because I think it might have some cashmere in it, because it's a lot of money. I can't remember exactly, but it's over £100. So I'll show you the two pieces from M&S, and then I'll show you, after lots of comments about the heat in the Caribbean, I have ordered a couple of sundresses and I haven't tried them on. So we'll see. We'll see what they look like. And I think during the day, you know, no, I haven't got sculpted arms, but I've got arms. So being cool is more important, I think, as in temperature, not as in. That's probably the uncoolest thing you can do. My kids would be going, really? Anyway, I'll crack on, I promise. So this is the jacket, and it is incredibly soft, really, really soft, and a really lovely colour. But it's £149. And I just couldn't justify that for this. It's got lined sleeves, but the body is not lined. So it's a little bit like a kind of shacket, if you know what I mean, because it's a very casual jacket. It has got pockets here, which, as I've said before, I won't undo if I'm not keeping it. The sleeves are a little bit long on me. This is a 16, and I've just put it on over my jeans. But it is lovely, isn't it? It really is lovely. I mean, if you had occasion for this, I think, I love the colour, I have to say. I do love the colour. Bit difficult to shorten these sleeves because I don't even know how they're done. Can you see? I'm really not sure how that's been done. It's like, it's almost like it's double-sided. So there's no hem as such. So it would be very, very difficult to shorten these sleeves. I mean, you could do the thing with the armbands, but I don't really think it lends itself to that. It's nicely made. It's got this kind of piping, self-piping here, and nice lapel. I'm going to sneeze, excuse me. Sorry about that. When Mum rang up earlier on today, I answered the phone and went, she didn't know what was going on, but it's because I had a sneeze coming and I didn't want to, if I'd waited until I'd sneezed, she might have hung up. Let me just put this light on, see if that helps. Yeah, you can see the colour better. It's beautiful, it's a beautiful colour. But for me, it's not £150 worth of loveliness. But if it's what you need, then I guess it's worth it. It's all down to personal choice, isn't it, at the end of the day, and what your lifestyle is, and mine isn't this. And I do think that it is dry clean only, which would be, yeah, it's professional dry clean. This would probably need to go to the dry cleaners on a fairly regular basis if you were using it. You know, if you were certainly going on public transport or the tube or anything like that, it would very easily get grubby, I think. But it's a lovely, lovely piece. As I say, if it suits your lifestyle, then it's probably worth it. So that's one of the only two pieces that I've got from Marks. The second is a blouse, so I'll go and pop that on now for you. So this shirt, Popover, I think they call it, because it's not buttoned through, was $29.50, and I got this in a 16 regular. It's made from lyocell and viscose, and it does feel very, very nice, I have to say. It's got a nice weight to it. It's fairly substantial, and it's got kind of like a little, almost, it's not a weave, but it kind of, it's got a texture to it, so it feels quite nice. It's got a very full sleeve, and I said it was $29.50, didn't I? And it's got a nice finish on the hem with the curved hemline, which I think is quite flattering. I put my flip-flops back on because this is, I'd say, a more casual top, but nice and cheerful, especially going into autumn. It's very Halloween colour, isn't it? The orange. But that's not for a few weeks yet, is it, Halloween? So, I'm not sure is the actual answer. I mean, again, I know, but I'm just being honest. I look at this sleeve, and if I was still doing the ironing, I'd think, oh, but I'm not now. Rob does the ironing, so, and he is very, very precise. He was ironing, he was ironing a pyjama top the other day, and I just a quick rub over, and he was going into all the little corners and crevices, and I was like, you don't need to do that, Rob, it's just a pyjama top. And quite rightly, he said, who's doing the ironing, me or you? And I said, okay, crack on. Pick your battles. So yeah, I don't know what you think. I don't know if it came in other colours, but I will link it below, and you can see for yourselves. This I haven't, this has been hanging up for a day or so, but it hasn't been ironed at all. So I think it's quite good for kind of pressing purposes. I don't think it's going to crease up too badly. I will do the crease test that Mum taught me when I was a young woman. Is it? I should have told it somewhere I could see it, shouldn't I? A little bit, but nothing much. I've got the feeling it would drop out again quite quickly too. So that's just the two pieces from Marks. As they bring in more stock, I will try and do a proper Marks and Spencer's haul in my haul, because I think they're one of the most popular brands on the high street. So that's Marks, and then I've got just a couple of bits from Next, and then the cooking. So it seems a bit mad as we're going into autumn. This is a cotton Love and Roses dress from Next, and this is £42, and it's just a little bit, it's a 16, but it's very, very fitted. It's actually called, what do they call it on here? A cami corset. I suppose the cami is this side of it, and then the corset is kind of the fact that it's got this inset lace here, and it's just too tight, because you can see it's all kind of, so it's very pretty though. £42, that was in the sale. Must have been an expensive dress. I've got the label hanging out the back, and I'm not a contortionist, and I don't want to interrupt Rob, so you'll have to forgive me. I mean, I don't like all this bit here either. So, I mean, the whole point of being kind of a cool dress is not to be uncomfortable, isn't it? I mean, that would, if you were hot, that would just be horrible. So, it's a very pretty dress. And if I was a tad younger and a tad slimmer and a tad taller and a tad more gorgeous, a tad everything. But you hear what I'm saying. It's pretty, but it's it's a no. But you don't know. I mean, I might have absolutely loved it, but I would have had to absolutely love it because I won't be wearing it that often, given that it's just a holiday dress. And in this country, I'd say there'd be very, very few days when you could wear it. Now I'm going to get stuck in it. Oh, Lordy. These invisible zips are so awkward, aren't they? Oh, there we are. I've managed to do it. I'm not going to strip off on camera. You'll be very, very glad to know. Well, there's probably some pervs that would like that. Not women, I don't mean. So I'll go and try on the other dress and see what that's like. So this is another Love and Roses dress, and this is an 18. See the problem we have here? I mean, that's no good at all, is it? And although it is, I mean, it's such a pretty dress, it really is a pretty dress. It's linen, but it's lined, so it's actually quite a heavy dress, even though obviously you're going to keep cool because you're fairly bare. Although, like I say, it doesn't fit and it's all lined, so it'd be a bit of a pain to adjust, and I don't need it that much. I mean, I could do that, but it was £45. The model must be so tall because this is down to the ground on me. I'm 5'6", and hers is just below the knee. So yeah, anyway, I'll show you the full dress. Isn't it pretty? So, so pretty. I love these kind of border prints. And actually, because I could take 2 or 3 inches off this quite easily, because the print, the lowest part of the print is there, so I could actually take it up if I wanted to. But for £45, I'm not kind of about to make all those adjustments to it. But you know what? I might change my mind when I see it on camera if I think it's really lovely. We'll see. We'll see, but I doubt it. Because as I say, it's going to be worn so few times that I might as well start from scratch and make my own dress, really. I'll tell you this is just sprung into my head, so I'll share. When I was 17, I had to go into hospital and have my tonsils out. I had an awful lot of tonsillitis, and they in the old days, they used to whip out tonsils every 5 seconds with not much thought. But I just fell into that period when they started to say, why are we doing this, you know? Because it's A, it's surgery, and B, they must have a reason to be there, tonsils and adenoids. And why I'm saying all this, it was all absolutely fine, although I was really quite poorly afterwards. That Mum made me a dressing gown to go into hospital, and it had this kind of bordered pattern on the fabric, and I've never forgotten that little dressing gown. It was so pretty, and because I was 17, I was put into an adult ward, and I was a very immature 17, and I was on the ward with all these older ladies that were having hysterectomies and things, and I was just a little girl really at 17. I was so naive and innocent, and I remember sitting there in my really pretty little dressing gown, and I had a white brochure glaze nightie underneath. I mean, we're going back 50 years, half a century. Oh, good Lord, that is scary. But the lady's saying, oh, what a lovely dressing gown, you know, and me saying, oh, my mum made it for me by coming into hospital. Pathetic, really, but it's funny, isn't it, how that has really literally sprung into my head because of this pattern. It's so evocative of that time. Anyway, I'm sure you're really interested, but just thought I'd share. I have actually got another dress to show you, so I'll pop that on and see. I'm not terribly hopeful, but you never know. There's often a reason that these things are in the sale, you know. And this one was probably because it's so expensive. I mean, it's just too big, isn't it? There you go. So this final one is viscose, lyocell and linen mix, and this is just £11. And I'm more inclined to see, look how big it is here, but it is all right on my hips. But I think this is quite a nice kind of day dress in the heat. So this dress is quite nicely made actually, because it's kind of got pieces down the side, so it's got a shaped, no it hasn't, it's got a seam here and then it's got inset pockets here. And I think I could take this up at the top and take this in a little bit here. And I think it's quite a nice practical kind of day dress. I bought this in an 18 tall because I wanted it to be on the longer side. And for £11, I think it's a pretty good dress. Yeah, it's a lovely colour, isn't it? It's got a nice low back. It's good length and it feels nice. It's got these pockets here. So I am actually really liking this. Oh, do you know what I need to show? What am I like? These just came earlier and I forgot all about them. I got these in John Lewis in the sale. And as I've told you, when I look for things in John Lewis, I search on highest discount. And these were reduced from £79 to £39.50. And I had a £10 voucher off shoes or sandals, and I thought it might exclude things that were in the sale, but it didn't. And the funny thing with John Lewis is if you use one of their discount vouchers and then you take the thing back, you don't get the voucher back. It's gone. You've just lost it. So, and if I had bought 2 pairs of shoes, for example, it would have taken £5 off each one. And if I'd have taken 1 pair back, I'd have still only got £5 off one. So I just bought these as a separate item to see. And they are really, really comfortable. So these only cost me £29.50. They're a leather lining and a leather top. And I think they're really, really nice. So that was a result. So that's my kind of day sandal for the holiday and probably for next summer too. So £29, £29.50. I was very pleased with those. And I think they would look nice with this dress. So the final dress was a winner. Phew. That's a relief. So that's the kind of clothes side of things. So next will be the cooking. Right, so now I'm in the kitchen and I'm doing the 2 cameras again. I must be mad, but it worked quite well last time, so I thought I'd give it another go. And I'm using the Carinier, I still don't know how to say it, 2-ring electric hob that I was kindly gifted. And I am making Thai chicken curry and rice. So the first thing I need to do is to put the rice on, because obviously that's going to take the longest time. And in here I've got 1 mug of very well rinsed rice. That's not easy to say. So I'm just going to put that in the pan. I never used to rinse. I don't know why I'm making myself say this more than I have to, but I never used to rinse my rice. But I've watched a couple of cookery programs lately where they have really said you should rinse your rice. And these have been kind of Asian people saying it. So I thought, well, they're experts in this stuff. I'm not. So there's 1 mug of rice. And into that, I'm going to add 2 mugs of cold water. Now, I've already put some salt in the mug so that I didn't forget, because obviously I'm not a chef. I'm just Helen doing my best. So I'm going to put that on now and bring it to the boil. So I have to remind myself, this one on, boil, function. It's noisy, I'm sorry about that, but you know, what can I do? So in here I've got the rice and the 1 mug of rice. That's more than we need, but if there's some left over, I'll just use it in something else. Now this is another thing I saw the other day, and that is to cover your lid in foil so that no steam is escaping. I'm going to have to kind of listen out for that, because obviously I need to turn that down. So that's the rice started. And then on this side, I need to get this heated up. And I put this on fry. I put this one on boil and this one on fry. So I just need to put a little bit of oil in here. And I don't need olive oil for this. So I'm just going to put about a tablespoon of vegetable oil in. It's probably a good tablespoon, but that's fine. Actually, I've got my stir it out first. I use this one. This is so easy, this recipe, and it tastes really, really nice. So wait for that to come up. Shouldn't take too long. And then into that, I'm going to add, I use frozen, wherever I can with these things. I use frozen diced onions. I always have a bag of frozen onions in the freezer. Where else would you keep frozen onions? And start that frying off. I mean, obviously that oil's not up to temperature yet, but you get the idea. And then into that, I'm just adding a teaspoon, well, it's probably not even a teaspoon. Again, frozen chopped garlic, I won't put that in yet. And a teaspoon of frozen chopped ginger. So I have actually got 3 chicken breasts in this recipe because there was 3 breasts in the packet. So if there's some left over, that's great. That can be put for dinner tomorrow or supper tomorrow or whatever. And I'm always happy if there's leftovers, to be honest, because if need be, if I don't feel like eating, I'll just give Rob the meal and I'll just have a sandwich or something. That's warming up nicely. This is taking a little bit of time. I probably should have got this heated up beforehand, but there we are. What can you do? On here they've got different functions. They've got melt, simmer, steam, boil, fry, roast, stir fry, fast heat. Oh, that's what I should have done, isn't it? Fast heat. I'll try that one. Fast heat. Get that going. That'll probably be too quick now. Yeah, but already I can see that fat is starting to sizzle a little bit. So I've got them both now. And this one is on boil, this one's on fast heat. So we'll see. Obviously, when I'm cooking for ourselves, I don't usually use this hob, so I use my regular hob, and it's a whole lot easier for me to know what I'm doing there. So I have sliced the chicken breast up, not into tiny pieces, but into kind of, they're probably about 1 inch thick, and I have dusted them in a little tiny bit of corn flour to take up any moisture, which will help them fry more quickly when I get them into the pan. So you can see that starting now to come along. There's not a lot of onion in this. You know, Thai cooking doesn't feature onion greatly. I could have used spring onions, I didn't have any, so I just used this just to kind of get it started as a base, get that going. Do you recognise these little pots from South Africa? I love them. And the garlic. Again, both frozen, because I could buy, you know, root ginger. And it might sit there for weeks before I need it again. I don't do that much Asian cooking. So I'm going to change the function now from fast heat to fry, just to take that down a bit. You can see that's really coming along there. It's funny because just having that ginger and garlic together already makes it feel quite Asian sort of aroma. That is obviously too much chicken for just Rob and I, but as I said, there'll be leftovers. Just get this browned off. The weather, I'm not going to go on about the weather, I'm really not, but we're thinking we might go away in the caravan again next week because the weather looks brighter. It doesn't have to be hot, but I don't want to sit in a caravan in the pouring rain, that's for sure. Who does really? Although my friend said she loves it because she says the feeling or the sound of the rain on the caravan and you're all tucked up inside all cosy and reading a book or listening to some music or something, she really likes it. But she's not such a sun person as I am. I like the sun. It's Dolly sniffing around. I'll tell you, that dog could hear you open a packet of meat from the end of the garden if she was fast asleep. It's absolutely hilarious. I mean, sometimes I deliberately try and open, you know, if I'm opening a packet of ham or something, I will try and open it really quietly and still she hears it. Their hearing is remarkable, isn't it? And their kind of recognition, because from our front room window you can see the turning into our road. And if it's a car she knows, she'll start barking. And if it's like me, she'll start barking because she knows I'm home. But then once I'm putting onto the drive, she doesn't bark. Doesn't bark at all. But if it's someone she doesn't know, she goes mad barking at the front door. I think we've heard it before, haven't we? Right, so that's just simmering nicely. I did look because I'm not used to this hole, so I needed to be careful. So I'm going to not cook that for more than 10 minutes, that rice, and then I will turn it off and just leave the lid on. In fact, what this chap did the other day, I thought, well, he put a tea towel over that as well to absorb the steam, and that gives you really fluffy rice. So this is just starting to turn. This is chicken breast. You really don't want to overcook it because it will go tough if you overcook it. I don't think you'd really want to use chicken thighs for this because chicken thighs are never kind of big pieces, are they? Because just by the nature of where they've taken off the bone. I mean, I love chicken thighs. I think they're the best kind of chicken for lots of recipes, but I think for this one, chicken breast is the way forward. I'm going to stop stirring that for a second, and then you just start to catch. It's supposed to be a quick meal, and I started making curry paste with, you know, the lemongrass and all that. It wouldn't be a quick meal, would it? So I'm just going to kind of get that evenly distributed over the chicken. Add 200ml of coconut milk. This has separated a little bit in the tin, but I think that'll be fine when it starts to cook through. And then at this point too, I'm going to add, what's that, a handful of mange too, and a handful of baby sweet corn. And by doing that, it makes it an all-in-one dish basically, because you've got the veggies and the chicken all in there nicely together. So really it's just a case, another few minutes, and that will be ready to eat. I'm just going to put a lid on that. Just let that simmer for a little while. And what have I got? Rice. It's just about done, I think. Yeah. So I'm going to turn the rice off and just let that steam. And then I'm going to give that 5 minutes. And then I will take the lid off just to let that sauce reduce a little bit. And then we're done. Easy as ABC. When I plate it up, I will show you. Oh yeah, that rice is perfect, I'd say. Nice, fluffy. This is Basmati rice, to be fair. It's not Jasmine rice because we didn't have any, but it's a long grain rice. So just serve this up. And then we've got the Thai chicken curry, which looks delicious. Get some veggies in there. I like Thai curry as opposed to Indian curry sometimes because it kind of tastes cleaner, if that makes sense. Get a nice lot of the liquid in there. So that's Rob's. And this is mine. Very happy with that, so I'll just put the lid on while we eat, so make sure no critters come in. So that's me. A little bit of fashion, a little bit of cooking. Hope you've enjoyed it. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you really soon. Bye.